Hello, how are you? Namaste. Great to be here with you today. I'm Pamela Aaralyn. I want to do a quick sound check. For those of you who are watching our live interactive chat, this is a live webinar that we do through SpreeCast.com. They are free. We have a live chat to the right of the screen. You can see over there. You can feel free to talk to each other throughout the whole channeling, but I prefer that when you ask your questions that you do them in the viewer questions and suggestions box, which is underneath the screen. So I just want to do a brief little sound check with you. And if everyone can hear me, just say yes. For all of you who are in the chat, give me a brief little thumbs up. If you're having any problems with sound, make sure that you're checking your speakers and make sure they're turned on. I was using that the other day going, why can't I hear anything? Oh yeah, work with that. What's up with the speakers? So, yeah, if you have any problems with the sound, it's best watched with your ear set and your earphones, okay? So with SpreeCast, with the channeling of the archangels, I don't bring in people for live camera requests. It completely disrupts my energy when it comes to the ascended beings and the archangels. So we're not going to be taking any camera requests today because these archangels tend to come in and do a combination of trance channeling where you'll see me kind of, go quiet a little bit and they just speak through me, and in a combination of mediumship, standard mediumship channeling. So yeah, that's why I don't bring people in, because it just disrupts everything between me and the beings that I'm working with, and they're just incredibly powerful beings, especially this one. So I'd like to introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Pamela Aaralyn. You can find me at aurareader.com, and I'm a clear conduit channel. I've been doing this since age 5. The first being that I ever saw was not an archangel, but a guardian angel. It was one of my particular guardian angels. His name is Haniel. That was the first being that I saw at age 5. So, and then I began to see many, many other angelic beings as well as ascended beings, and work with beings on the other side as well, human beings, animals. I'm just a channel in general to specific extraterrestrial collective groups as well, such as the Palladian Collective, the Council of Nine, and the Lyran Syrian Council. Those are the top 3 that I've been working with throughout my lifetime. So that's a little bit about me. Been doing this for a while, but it just comes natural to me. So what I would like for you to do is go ahead and submit your questions in the viewer questions and suggestions box. I like to start with a brief channel message. So I'm probably going to trance it. I'm going to bring him in because he seems to just want to talk through me for the channel message, and then I'm going to come out and then begin to answer your questions. If you can't figure out any questions, just look in the producer's box and you'll notice Jim. Just give him a little message if you have any problems technically, or if you have problems knowing where to submit your questions. So that's how you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in, give a quick little message, tell you how I view him, and then we're going to begin. Welcome, dear ones. Can you hear our voices? Are you listening with your heart? Allow the music of your whole being to be receptive to our divine messengers who have guarded you and who have watched over you throughout your soul's existence here. We are now here in unity with one voice, singing the ideas and concepts of peace within all of you, making a joyful noise, for we offer you the gifts of divine love, of divine healing, beyond your understanding. This is what humans call agape. Receive it into your being and shine this blessed light out into the world around you. Please be receptive now and allow divine grace to permeate your being. This is one of the angelic gifts being offered to you at this time. Grace is needed to sanctify this earth and to bring greater coherence, respect, and honoring of the gifts the earth supplies in abundance. It is time for the people to offer to themselves and to their planetary home the nurturing it needs to sustain life. When humans honor this earth, you also honor the elements of yourselves that make up this earth. It is your birthright to live in harmony with this earth, to feel divine love in your very being, and the power of life force surging through you in ever-increasing awareness and waves. Allow it to spark every cell in your body and increase love in your being. As you do this, you glow as radiant love and radiant light. It shines forth from you, and you become the light to the world that the earth needs right now. It is a choice for you to make this and every moment, moment to moment, which requires you to create an intention to receive the harmony you want in your life. This is the switch within your thoughts to create it. Becoming a light to the world is not arrogance. It is not negativity within ego. When one carries this awareness of higher truth, it becomes your duty, your chosen path. You call this karma. It is merely your intention and your choice. As the apparent darkness of chaos and fear are so obvious, what could you need more than light? At this holy time, the light of Christed energy is more available to you than ever before. And this blessing carries the energy of divine love into your hearts, and outwards it reflects and shines into your world. Feel this light in you that holds the divine qualities of wisdom and love, and share it with each other. Radiate this light and this love to your governments and to your world leaders. Send it to the areas of chaos in your worlds and to those who work hard to ease the suffering in those places. Transmit divine light and divine love into your environment and to all living beings that are not human on this beautiful planet. Don't forget to shine the healing light onto yourselves and your families. This energy brightens and reconfigures and restructures the power of your cellular DNA. It awakens you and inspires you. This brings you into your birthright and into the birthright of that of your families. This energy brightens and inspires. It is one way to bring harmony and to overcome despair within yourself and the world. As you celebrate the gift that I bring you today, please know there are many ways to remember your divinity. This is but one. I shine this light of remembrance into you. Love is my intention. Healing is my gift. You hold that same power of both. Okay, there we go with the channel message. He was pretty brief. He's known to be pretty brief. I really enjoy his energy. I'm going to talk momentarily a little bit about how I envision him now that I'm back. I noticed that normally when I trans-channel beings, they come in and I have to close my eyes just to focus, and then they take over with him. And with most of the other archangels I've worked through, they just come in. There's no work. There's no trying to calm myself down and focus on my breathing for trance channeling. There's no deeply meditative state. They just come in and that's it. And then when they're done, they're done. So they're a little bit different insofar as how to trance channel them versus ascended beings and other beings that I work with. But what I'm noticing about him is that he is coming to me when I see him with certain symbols. So it's a combination of symbols. And to me, it represents the Merkaba, but it looks like a flower of life, except it is within a triangle. And all of the colors have various, all of the shapes, have various colors. So if you could envision what a flower of life looks like in sacred geometry, Google that if you don't know what it is. It's a circle inside of circles, and then tiny little flowers inside of the circles. Is that clear enough? So imagine that, except this is within a triangle. So you have a green triangle, and this is on his heart center. Otherwise, he looks like a being that has a form. There is pink light coming from his eyes, from what would be the sockets of the eyes. There's a lot of pink. There's pink light just flashing through. And then the rest of it is just like a body that looks like a form. There's head, there's shoulders, there's chest, which looks kind of like an androgynous form. There is a lot of feminine energy to this being. This is why so many human beings like to refer to Gabriel as a she, because she could be known in many cultures as Gabriel, or sometimes Gabriel in a male facet as well. So it depends upon what you know insofar as how Gabriel projects to you. But with many of you, it seems like this angel is coming in a divine feminine form. But she actually states that she's not a he or a she, that she represents something that's above, that it's sort of, not to make that hierarchy, but these beings don't identify with one or the other. They choose based upon what you perceive them as. So anyway, back to that. A bit of a human-like form, no hair, just, if you could see a shadow, except see it all in green, like a silhouette, except envision it all in green. And then in the heart center, there's a different shade of green that comes in the form of a triangle right here, and then there are various circles that look like a flower of life inside of the triangle, and then the shapes for the flower are very iridescent. So the shapes of the flower inside of the circles within that triangle, those shapes, the outlines of those shapes appear to me pink and yellow, and sort of like how I've explained to you that a crystal aura looks before, very refractory and changing as the light hits, as the light's coming through my window behind the computer. All of the outlines of the flower of life shapes within the circles, all those outline colors are changing based upon how the light hits them. So sometimes I'm seeing them as pink, sometimes as yellow, sometimes as all the above, much in the way that you would see after a rainstorm, or when the snow melts, for those of you in Utah here with me, how the snow melts once the sun comes out, and then you see the oils coming up from asphalt on the road, and then you notice the colors of the rainbow, as the oil and the water begin to permeate within each other, the sun sort of refracts and reflects. So it looks a little bit like that. That's how the outlines of the flower of life look. And within that, these shapes are changing. So within the circles of the flower of life, those colors are changing every time the light moves. So this isn't one, this is a very unique being. And there's a lot of divine love. And when I'm feeling, Gabriel's presence, I'm feeling very, very loved. And because I very recently asked to understand unconditional love, I asked to understand that, and then I asked to teach it through humanity, to teach it to humanity. That was something that I asked within a very recent purpose. This is when this being began to show forth, along with the white Tara and the green Tara. The green Tara is actually, for those of you who don't know who that is a manifestation of a Hindu being who is an all-encompassing being who comes whenever people are learning self-love. So this being has been coming all week, this white Tara being, and she does show up in the shape of a lotus with a woman sitting on the lotus, and she's green with pink hands, and she always comes to me like this with her hands out. So yeah, this is how Gabriel can project to me, and this is how I view him or her, however you wish to see. I'm feeling feminine energy, but every time I say that, she immediately corrects me and says, "No, not he, not she, just here for you." So let's go ahead and get to your questions. I'm going to be putting some on the screen, as is our producer here, but generally speaking, I'm going to look in the viewer questions and suggestions box now and see what we have. Here's a good one. And you can see these questions once, Gabriel chooses which ones we want. They're right above my head, right where it says current topic. Look straight above and you can see these questions and read them for yourselves. Do you have important messages for humanity? This is the question. Okay, and there's a statement up underneath that, but he's saying right on that statement. His heart center just kind of shined light green and a little bit of pink coming through. He says, my message for you is to stand in hope. Do not lose hope. In the hard and difficult times that you are experiencing right now, these are not the end of your times, as many of your religions will show you and state. This is the end of a cycle. Many, many cycles. You have gone through 4. This is cycle number 4. I suggest that you hold true to the hope that not all is lost. There is much despair amongst you, and I am here to help you connect to love for yourselves and others, to stand in self-love, so that you may heal from this despair and not lose hope. You are not in chains. You are not enslaved. For those of you who stand within the purpose of liberation, it is not from an extraneous source. Liberate you from you, the belief that you are enslaved, the belief that fear can hold you down. This is what I am here to heal today. My message for you is to understand that you always have been free, that you always have been liberated. It is only your perception that causes you to believe otherwise. Okay, on to the second part. My husband feels that Archangel Gabriel may have a message for him in regards to something that he feels he is meant to do for humanity. I understand that he wants much. I understand that the simplicity of his being should be what arises next. Focus on his family first. The pieces of the family unit that wish for healing, I wish to bring to his awareness today. Amongst this healing comes all other notions of what he is meant to do, because it begins here. Start with himself and his family. This is the biggest and most imperative task that he chose. This will cause him to step into many etheric gifts, many understandings of his nature, and then, thereby, many understandings of how to heal humanity. He is a natural healer, but his focus is missing. Please find the focus again. Yeah, see how they just jump in? And notice I kind of come to. That was trance again. Gabriel doesn't even ask. Michael would at least say, yes, I'm going to trance now. Gabriel's like, yeah, now. And now he's back standing in front of me. So that's kind of how that works. Let's go on to another question. Okay. Just scrolling through and putting it up here. The question is, can we be part of more than one soul stream? I feel a strong connection to Archangel Michael and Metatron. He says, you will relate to more than one. You have an origin soul stream, and then based upon your experiences, you have many minor streams thereunder. If your dominant soul stream is that of an ocean, this is your origin. If this is your strongest relation, you will know. There are many other experiences happening simultaneously. You don't even have to choose. Your origin may not even be what's most relevant, or it may. Yes, you can have more than one soul stream. There is one dominant, as is the ocean, and then there are many lakes, rivers, and streams. You will relate to all of them in various ways. You can definitely, and you often have definitely, more than one. Okay. I'm just looking at another question here, finding one to put on the screen. Here we go. Okay, now it's up there. It's a little bit long, so I'm going to expand it. Here we go. Dear Archangel Gabriel, I am grateful for your presence among us today. He nodded to you. Lately, I have been feeling disempowered and incomplete and unlovable. I know this to be false and untrue, but I don't know how to align myself to love when these feelings are so strong. Do you have any advice? Thank you, and I love you. He said, I love you, dear being. Does your thought master this? Or have you sank into an unfathomable depth? If you still feel, then you are not within apathy. If you are not within apathy, and you still feel, then you are alive. These emotions are there because you live, because your blood flows, your emotions flow. Do not toss them or discard them away. Feel these emotions as if they are just as important as the positive ones that you wish for. You know this to be false and untrue. You know you are not disempowered. You are not trapped. That is something I too would like to show and share with you today, and I will begin to show you. Humanity is not trapped. You are free. You are not disempowered. You are not unlovable. You are not incomplete. None of you are any of these things. Your mind has caused you to believe this. The only trap is in your mind, you pointed. When you release the burden of the brain and sink into the knowingness of your precognition. Precognition is not a mental state. It is an etheric state. When you face these emotions first, if they become unfathomably deep, invite them in, feel them, and then invite their release. Have you asked for their release from you, not from an extraneous source, not from a God above, not from a mediator or mitigator that is human, not from a spirit guide? You are the spirit guide. You are the source. Have you asked you to release you so that you can align with love? This is my urging to you. I urge you to understand that you are not trapped, that you are not disempowered. I urge you to then ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want to feel? And then these feelings shall continue and commence within your world. Your focus and your thoughts immediately shifts, dear humans, to emotions. And when these emotions are powerful and beautiful, then you feel powerful and beautiful and loved. When they are not, you find them to be despair and devastation. Don't sink into the pits of this despair and devastation. Understand that all emotions are fleeting. All emotions are human. They are not all-encompassing. They are guides to you. They are temporary. All emotions, both positive and negative, shall pass. When you understand this, you align to what you choose, and your thoughts remain in the emotional state that you choose. And then you create your future, and then you align with love. But you must choose love. You must choose love. Over and over and over again. This is not an instant fix. This takes patience, tolerance. It can happen overnight if you should choose to believe it, but many times it does not. Many times love is the hardest thing for humans and for humanity. Start anywhere that is believable to you. Start where you can. Start exactly where you are. Be honest with yourselves and start there. If you have nothing to align with how to love you, ask someone who loves you what is lovable about you and focus on that. Ask someone you trust. Align with the frequency of trust, and then you will align with the frequency of love from others. Then you shall be receptive. Then you shall wish to love yourself. Then belief will come. Then thoughts will come. Then alignment, even if it shifts, can be realigned. This is not devastation. Permanence, or the lack thereof, is not devastation. There is nothing permanent in your reality any further except love. This is the one thing that can stay once you learn it. No heartbreak, no human or animal or spirit or being can ever take that from you once you learn it. Yeah, I thought this was going to be a mediumship channeling today, and he just jumps right in and trances. Twice now. Okay. Just letting him do what he wants to do. Who's going to tell Gabriel anything other than that, right? Because he's Gabriel. Okay, I'm looking at the questions again. This is a good one. He likes this one. He keeps correcting me when I say he. And then she or he says, there is no she or he. It just is. Every time I get the correction. The question is as follows. Who actually created the divine message in the book A Course in Miracles? Was it Jesus or other ascended masters? Is this book a relevant message for 2016? I can't wait to read that, by the way. I haven't yet. Can't wait. He says it was the collective of who you know as Christed energy, which includes but is not limited to Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, and Shiva. That's shocking. That was me saying that. Okay, and Shiva. Okay, so all of those. It was a collective group of all of these beings, he's saying. Yes, it is still very relevant for 2016. It can be misunderstood. Your perception of the book, A Course in Miracles, is particularly relevant to how you will see it, but when applied to too much religion, it becomes stagnant. It becomes dogma. It can easily become dogma as anything else in your religious text can and have become. As long as you do not acquiesce to dogma, you take from it what you need and you leave from it the rest. However, it is still very, very relevant, slightly overboard within religious concepts. Okay, thank you. I haven't read the book, so I don't know. I need to. I'm too busy doing all this for you guys, which is a blessing, but still, I need to read that. Okay. Next question. With the incarnate angels living here on Earth, how does their presence help humanity and Gaia? Let's start with that. Gabriel states it is unique to each of these presences and they have unique individual intentions to help you. Michael, for example, helps with strength. I help with unconditional love. However, humans require the ego first. The human ego has been thwarted and eliminated and squashed for way too long and associated with negativity. I am here to lift you into confidence and consciousness, conscious awareness throughout your ego. Love arises then and only then, thereby. Love begins with ego. This may cause shock for you to hear. If you had no ego, you could then not love yourselves. You cannot disidentify without identifying first. My message specifically is to begin there and to allow that love to radiate, and then you may disidentify. Then you may, within your fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional components, understand all there is about love, and that is what I am here. When I work within this paradigm of self-love and then unconditional love, then the collective energy and frequency of this love permeates Gaia and all collectives within Gaia. This heals your lands. This heals your peoples. Let's see. I'm having a hard time switching out of these semi-trances that he's going into with me. The second part of the question is, does each angel have a mission to participate in? And is it important that each one know firmly what their mission might be? He's stating to me, it is important, however, it is not a question. We have known our missions throughout our time. We have known our missions. We shall never forget our missions, and it is important. Each of us have many. Michael encompasses strength and protection, dignity and ethics. Haniel encompasses tolerance and a gentle, nurturing nature. Haniel encompasses patience. Zadkiel will help you understand your unique perspectives and how it is relative to everything within you and around you and how there is no separation. Zadkiel is relative to unity. The understanding of unity can help your planet heal as well. This is a collective consciousness for Gaia. Raphael also, such as myself, much as myself, encompasses love and healing. Raphael particularly works with animals and children in an all-encompassing facet. Raphael is known to guide animals and children to adults when adults appear to have lost their way, or when they believe that they have lost their way. We all have unique purposes, and we all work together. Okay, let's take another question. Okay, there we go. We have this one on the screen now. Blessings, Gabriel. I was curious on methods and techniques to better open to the channels of divine inspiration and flow when writing, making art, or pursuing any creative endeavor. Thank you with sincerity. He's nodding. Yes. He says, my child, you have ceased to question within these past 2 weeks your methods of channeling. This is what brings you to your encompassing awareness, circumventing the ego, circumventing what you fear. This is truth for you to understand that you have chosen to no longer align with fear of your channelings and of who and what comes through. That there is no danger, that there is nothing to attack you any further. These were merely representations and reflections of you not wanting to be here on earth, and of you wanting to attack you, and of you not loving you. And this created these representations and reflections of feeling that you are thwarted in your attempts. This became reality for you. This became very real to you, dear one. It can become very real to many of you. When it reaches this component of danger to you and this component of fear, call upon Archangel Michael. We work hand in hand. Call upon Archangel Michael to understand the protective nature that you have within you, not because he can or should save you, but because you are already saved. Not because you are lost, but because he helps you understand that you have always been found. Find you again. All the many aspects of you. All the many aspects of you. They are all you. They are all various components of you. When you find them, accept them, channel them in, don't question it. Write it down. Record it with your human devices. Build evidence that it is real. Allow others to listen, share, and build evidence. Your ego is all that stands in the way. I do not mean this to bring you any observations of negativity about your ego. Your ego is necessary, especially now. Your ego has kept you alive. What I should say towards all humans and what I would like to address is to operate within the commanding presence of your divinity. Command your sovereignty. Then there is no fear. Release fear. This is my biggest method and technique to share with you today, is the release of fear. Command it. Command it with your mouth, out loud. And you may say, I command my sovereignty. I release fear. It's quite simple. It is nothing to turn into a complication. Sorry, waking up from trances again. I'm getting used to how he works and how he just pops in. Michael did that a few times, in our channel, which is also on YouTube, by the way, with channeling Michael, Archangel Michael, and it kind of just blew me away for those of you who are watching. And I'm like, wow, why is he doing that? And now I'm just kind of getting used to it. But I'm just doing that just to let you know that that totally wasn't me. Gabriel just jumped in. And I did not expect to be trans-channeling. That's why I'm so open about how these channels are going to go. I'm like, no, really, I'm just going to do mediumship channeling today. And Gabriel's like, yeah, okay. He just looks at me like that. He goes, yeah, right. And he shakes his head, right. Very calm. But when he wants something, he just goes and does it. Okay, let's take another question. Okay, it's on the screen now. Spirituality only seems to include people's well-being. Who gives them comfort and strength to animals in order for them to stand the horrendous pain they suffer every day and all over the world because of us? Are they helped in their agony? Raphael provides strength. I provide comfort. Raphael provides healing. Michael releases fear. Haniel provides patience. Zadkiel provides perspective. Metatron provides knowingness without any further awareness. We are all here to provide comfort and strength to animals. But there are a few who have come in with more capacity and more of an awareness, more of an intention to have guardianship over Earth's animals. I am one. Raphael is another. Michael is another. Okay, I'm scrolling down looking at another question. Okay, here we go. Let's get it on the screen. I'm trying to go through them pretty quickly, but he seems to have a lot to say. He's said more to you than he has to me these past few days. He's been very quick and short with me, but with you guys, he's just talking and talking. Okay, here it is. I feel a strong connection to Gabriel the past few weeks. I've been told he's been helping me with the product launch for my business. Is this true? He's nodding. And if yes, does he have guidance for me right now? You have been brave amidst emotionally dire and fearful, anxiety-ridden circumstances. You specifically, my child, have been brave. Continue that courage with the belief that you can overcome these conditions. You are viewing your business as if it is a mountain. I invite you to view your business as if it is a molehill. Begin in a shorter capacity of your awareness. This is not a limitation. It doesn't mean that you can't climb this mountain, but you don't want to climb this mountain fully. You would like to take things a step at a time. You feel safer when you know. My message to humanity in this regard, not just to you, please understand, dear ones, that things happen in the order you create. If you believed you could have it all, you would. However, when you don't, this can then become the problem. This can then result in what you call blocks. This is a time out. This is a time for peace, a time for rest, and a time to reconvene. And then begin a quicker step that is more believable to you in this moment. Don't forget these daily believable moments. These moments arise in your knowingness, in your precognitive states of awareness. in your minds and in your emotions. They come to you, and then you tend to brush them off. You tend to brush these thoughts aside. We are trying to guide you moment by moment with what you should do to reach a greater goal, and then a greater goal thereafter. Stand within the flow of these moments. Okay, let's go on. I'm just looking at the question and trying to get it on the screen. There we go. The question is, I would like to channel the angels and beings of higher conscious perspective. What are some ways to open the paths of communication between myself and these other beings? He states, please stand out of your own way. Please understand that you are the only thing between you and us, your ego state, and your fear of what will come. When you align yourself with whatever and whoever will come and say, all of it is safe, all of it is okay, I will not be controlled, I will not be commanded, because I am Source. Then you invite us in. When there is no fear of anything that can be unsafe. This goes for all of you humans, but specifically for the one who asked. You are not in danger. I understand that this fear is real to you, but the actuality is not. You are the danger, but the danger is not extraneous of you. Stand in love. When you channel these beings, invite love in first. Take another breather. Let's see. I know that as you guys are seeing these questions, they have names by them, but management isn't putting, that's not him who's asking. He's just asking for all of you, just so you know, just so you don't think I'm taking anyone's question over and over again. These are questions put in by the producer, but they're for everyone who's asking. Dear Gabriel, may you give advices on communication when humans have conflicts and arguments. This too shall pass. Humans seem to believe that everything is imminent, that everything must be decided now. Decide peace now, if that is what you should believe. This does not mean that you are lacking. This does not mean that you have lost, as there is no competitive force, except that which you create. There are no such things as conflicts and fights unless you choose for them to go in that direction. Guide your communications between other humans. Refuse conflicts. Refuse arguments. They are not of you. If it is not of love, pull and retract yourself from that communication until there can be love and respect and safety. It should be peaceful. If it is not, lovingly retract yourself and then resume. Breathe. Breathe during your communications. Breathe during your conflicts. Breath is the force of life that is love. When you breathe, you begin to release fear. You begin to feel peace. You begin to love yourself and understand the other person's perspective, and they yours. And they will unconsciously begin to breathe along to the rhythm of the peace that you have created within you. Okay. Take a breather just a second. Grabbing a question, the viewer questions and suggestions box again. Okay, let's put this one on screen. Let me expand it for you so you can see it. Okay, here we go. Greetings, Gabriel. Please could you tell me if the tsunami of hate in South Africa of color will end? Also, the current heat that is destroying the land and crops, water shortages and food. When will this all end? I cannot provide to you any perception of time, as I do not control time within your lands, and time within your dimension is ever shifting. As it stands even in your collective consciousness, this shifts every moment. The time frame changes on this. It lengthens and shortens moment by moment. It is unpredictable. The hate, the hatred in this land of South Africa is indicative of the authenticity of how they feel. They embrace it. They embrace all gambits of human emotion, from hate to love, from feast to famine, from war to peace. And then it becomes reflected into their environments in ways that involve stark danger. It will end, but when it does end, this will be the end of another cycle of 4,000 years. This cycle ends soon as it stands, but it could change. Time is relative. The heat is from the collective human consciousness of anger and bitterness and resentment. The cycles of the sun and your moon interact with these frequencies. These calls for what you and your scientific communities know as solar flares. This can be of grave concern to your planet, but you are not aligned to that soon, and it shall not serve you to align to fear of even beginning to figure when this shall occur. Many of you watching today may or may not even be alive when this occurs, due to various circumstances or even old age. This is not within your era for solar flares to become a greater problem. It is not even within your era. This is based upon your current state of alignment, but it can change, and it does in the blink of an eye. As it stands today, the sun will lessen. It's making my fingers vibrate, especially in between my fingers, like right here, especially on this one, on both sides of this one. Like these areas of the skin beneath my fingers are tingling when he comes through, and then when he comes out, I just sit there and scratch my fingers. Yeah, confessions of a channel. There you go. Let's take another question. Oh, that's interesting. You should ask this question when I was just talking about angels and vibrations. The question is, when we lay down to sleep at night and start vibrating all over, I was told this is an angel download. Is this true? The chemicals in your brains reduce fear states. They release endorphins and other calming chemicals and hormones that flood through your bloodstream. This is what you call fear. This is what you call sleep paralysis amongst fear. It does not have to be fear, but it is unknown. And being that it is unknown, it can induce fear. I urge you to understand the nature of these downloads. It comes along during sleep paralysis, with what your medical communities call it. These downloads occur during these states. The answer is yes, this is an angel download, but it could be downloads from many of your various origins within your extraterrestrial nature and the collective groups that are amongst your soul stream. It could be various downloads that are helpful and beneficial to you. Please do not involve fear. Okay. Okay, taking another question now. What is your take on ascension? It is no longer occurring in humanity in a collective manner. It is occurring individually, based upon individual states of beingness, individual frequencies. However, I'm noticing that you are gravitating towards smaller collective groups as your individual frequency states align amongst each other. I am noting this and noticing this. Ascension is right now occurring and has been occurring for 25 years in your human knowledge of time. It could change into small collective groups at some point soon. It is not what many humans believe. It is not that you wake up and things are unfathomably different. It is that you wake up and you are at peace. It is that you wake up in your world and all who are amongst it and within it are also at peace. If they are aligned in that same soul stream, they too will be there. But there is no such thing as one who is left behind. This level of ascension is no longer occurring. This is not how ascension will be at this point, and it hasn't been for many cycles in Earth's history. It hasn't been this degree of ascension. You will not float into the air. You will not leave your families behind. None of this will occur. Okay. Let's take another question. Oh, a question about the archons. I knew this one was coming. He just looked at me and he goes, "That's quite a serious question, Pamela." And I assume that's his nice way of saying, don't giggle at the archons because they are a serious, serious problem. He's nodding. I'm one of these types of beings where I'm just like, oh, yeah, problems, no big deal. We're going to get over it. It's all love. It's all fine. And he's like, okay, let's talk about that. He's more serious than me. The question is, can you please explain in detail a bit of the following: the demiurge, the archons, and the supposed recycling system? The state of the prison planet is lifting. You have labeled yourselves a prison planet, a matrix, all of this. This is no more. You are the ones that imprison you at this point. There are archons. There are beings that have some level of control if you should align to the belief therein. And many of you do, and this is the problem. This is what makes this problem serious, is when you believe this, that you are not liberated, that you are trapped, that you are controlled, that you did not choose to be here. You did choose to be here. When you believe that a recycling system still is in effect, you will create that reality after your human death, and then you will recycle yourself. They did not do it to you. You chose it with that thought and belief system. Understand the power of liberating yourselves. Understand the power of the connection between your physical bodies and your light bodies. Claim your sovereignty. Wake up and get out of fear. The recycling system has not been in existence for the past 11 years, except when you create it. Karma is no longer what you know of. It is no longer what you believe. It is no longer here to trap you. These beings no longer have control, and this has been for over 11 years. But when you liberate yourself, then you will understand that there is no recycling system that you can create for yourself. This only occurs when you believe it. Otherwise, you have many, many, many various options after your human death. The archons that are here, amongst your human forms and non-human forms, do indeed control your governments. And if you align towards this mass system of control, then you will be a part of a replenishing recycling system that will be born again. And if you don't choose it, then you shall not be aligned to it. It is truly that simple. Okay, let's take another question. Okay. No, that's the same question. How did that question get in here twice? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to choose another one. He's just scrolling through them, and some of them are pretty personal. He wants questions that are a little bit more geared towards, like, yes, you can ask a personal question, but can it also help humanity? That's the kind of questions he's looking at, guys. So some of these he's kind of scrolling past, and I'm sorry about that. This is a good one that is individual and collective that he is choosing. Okay. My daughter has almost given up on becoming pregnant. What advice or comfort would you give to hers and others in that situation? When you align towards control, even of something that you love dearly, that too is fear. And when there is fear, there is not trust. When there is not trust, there is not love. Love creates children. Not the sperm and the egg, but the trust that occurs between the man and the woman, between each being. Release the need to hang on. Hope can become a prison if hope is substituted for control. When you hold on to hope, it is a candle that is in your distance, and you understand that it is a light that you gradually work towards. And then if it shall happen, it shall happen. If it shall not happen, then it shall not. My advice to her and to others in this situation is to live and enjoy the love that is occurring amongst her and her partner, or her and other beings. In whatever circumstances she can enjoy love in the creation of this child, then she should enjoy love, not for the sake of the outcome within the creation of this child, but for the creation of the love amongst two beings. Then this either shall occur when it is meant to, or it would not. But when she accepts both outcomes with peace, this will become a healing state that will perpetuate fertility. Okay. See what other questions we have. This is a question about the Divine Feminine. Gabriel is liking this one very much, so I'm going to put this one on the screen. A lot of guidance I have been seeking is around my purpose and where I've been called towards having to do with the feminine, and my question is if I can receive guidance to what that looks like and if I'm on the right path. You are indeed on the path towards helping others. The feminine within you, you are not aligned towards. You appear to believe that you've lost your direction in how to seek the feminine in your own physical body. This manifestation is something that I urge all of humanity to observe, and I urge humanity to find specific ways to embrace the feminine amongst the physical and the emotional. Embrace feminine emotions such as love, receptivity towards love, trust, patience, tolerance, any frequency of emotion that involves a gentle nature, trusting nature. This will align towards opening up the divine feminine in your frequency, and then your body and physicality shall follow. The divine feminine is a merging of the physical and the emotional, and then this path shall be honored and followed. I urge all humans who wish to seek the divine feminine to understand the path of receptivity. Receptivity is the opposite of control. Receptivity is the opposite of fear. It is the opposite of disempowerment. When you are receptive, you flow in the energies of each moment and you accept. You stand in a state of acceptance, which is the next step towards unconditional love. And when you operate in unconditional love, you operate in the divine feminine. Gabriel's just going to trans-channel the whole thing. I'm just only going to talk to ask questions. I've never had any particular being just step in and trans-channel like that without asking me. They just step in and just do it. It's actually amazing. I feel a little weird because honestly, I'm learning the self-love thing. That's something I'm going through right now individually. So for me, I'm like, oh, that's really different. That's a lot of love. I like it, but it's a little unusual for me. I feel great, but I feel a little shocked. Looking through the questions again for a moment. I'm only going to go for about 5 more minutes, guys, because I would like to get a brief break. So I'm only going to go for a little while and answer a few more questions. So now would be the time, just to talk amongst yourself and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you so much for being here. Let's take a few more. Okay, someone has already asked about soul streams, so we'll wait on the YouTube on that one. Just looking through. Let's see. My angels have told me that that my life's mission is to bring a divinely inspired message into book form. Can you please teach me how to channel this message into a book? Decide upon which messages, child. You have many endeavors and many choices And out of fear of success and fear of being seen by others, you continue to not choose one of 5 purposes. Simply choose one and follow it into its completion. Okay, next question. I have been told that I have an imbalanced yin-yang. Can you validate that this is accurate? And if so, tell me more specifics about the imbalance and suggest how I can correct it. You began this statement with, I have been told. This states that this suggests that this came from an extraneous source. I urge you to no longer operate within the extraneous source of what you have been told. This perpetuates the belief further of imbalance, that something is wrong, that something is bad, that something is off. Lose this perception and then ask yourself, do I feel more masculine? Or do I feel more feminine? Or does it even matter? Balance occurs when it no longer matters. If your divine masculine is overstimulated, then you should be prone towards frustrations, anger, intolerance, impatience, control, lack of trust, and fear. If your divine feminine is overstimulated, you will be prone towards overt sexuality in ways that do not feel comfortable to your human state of being. You may be prone towards dark night of the soul. You may go into states of emotional beingness that operate from emotions that cause sadness. Too much divine feminine embodies that you submit your choice, your free will state of choice, to others. This can become submission. This is too much divine feminine. When you question yourself in this way, you will know. But my deeper question to you is, does it matter? Does it matter? Is it a label that should even exist? If so, if you require the labels, work through it and heal it. If not, and this is my suggestion, to release the label. To understand that it is not necessary, then there is no such belief in an imbalance to begin with. Okay, a question about universal laws. Let's put this one on screen. I would like to know if you will share some of the universal laws with us they may not necessarily practice here on Earth, and how they apply to us. In the 10th dimension, we practice the law of respect of all beings. There is no hierarchy. There is no good, bad, right, wrong. It is a law that simply is, without judgment. This is the understanding of what you have called flow, that all is necessary in the grand ecosystem of Source, and everything has a relevance. This is not something that Earth follows at this time. I urge you to understand that there is a certain belief that you collectively represent. You believe in this duality. This is an Earth law. When you release duality, You liberate yourselves from you. You are the only things holding you back. When you operate within isness, or within flow and respect of all that is, every human, every extraterrestrial, every being, animal, human, under all of your suns and all of your moons and under ours, then understanding shall not be required. Human language in form of words shall not even be required at this point in time. A look, a glance, a knowingness, an emotion. Emotions are deeper than words, but this shall be all it will take at this point in time. To release you from your perceived law of duality. To release you from what you perceive as separate. That is what you practice on earth, separation. And yes, you chose it. We do not practice separation. We practice isness. We practice flow. We practice laws of respect of all that there is. We understand that we have to operate within a larger ecosystem and a larger understanding of all beings. But we do not control each other, nor do we submit to control. We flow into what is with peace, trust, respect, love, and presence. And within the human language, then there will require no such thing as the definition of understanding. Because you are not under. You are not standing under anything or anyone. And this is the message that I shall close with you today. Lose your hierarchy. There is but love. Love was here in the beginning of your planet. And in order to release your cycles of fear and duality, have love. Start with yourselves. Everything else will come. It will come to you. You will attract love